We are just on the threshold of a multi-decade movement in nuclear energy, and you've got to fuel it with uranium. We're dedicated 100% to in situ recovery of uranium in the United States, the world's largest consumer. Currently consuming about 48 million pounds a year against a production last year of 200,000. 9,000 pounds the year before. So essentially 100% reliant upon imports until just now. And as recently as 1980, we were self-sufficient. So we have the ability to do so. We've just outsourced it like every other industry. We are America's clean energy company. The only way you can have zero carbon or clean energy is through nuclear. The wind doesn't always blow, the sun doesn't always shine. So we're focused on this. And also like to mention that about half of that imported uranium comes through the port of St. Petersburg. And I don't mean Florida, Russia. So Mr. Putin controls essentially 10% of the U.S. electric demand at the moment. I will be making some forward-looking statements. This is just a graph showing you the last boom, which was a completely different market than what we have now. Now we're looking at a demand-driven market. Lots of tailwinds, lots of increased demand, new building of the small modular reactors, as Greg mentioned, as well as conventional reactors. And I would note that the conventional reactors that are being built now are sometimes twice or 2.5 times the size of the ones that were historically in operation, which means you're going to use a proportionally more amount of uranium. This gives you a little background of the company. It's basically the assimilation of two groups. One was Paul Gorenson's group, our CEO, who's formerly the president of Cameco Resources. An in situ expert that's built probably the last 3 or 4 of these plants in the U.S., operated them all over the world. And that's proven to come to fruition. We joined us in 2020. We started production at our first plant back in November. So he and his team have joined that team that I came in with from Energy Metals. We had a company 2004 to 2007 that went from 1.7 million market cap to 1.8 billion in 30 months. And putting the two teams together, we've got a lot better outfit now, and we're already in production. Look forward to our second producing asset as early as April or May. We do focus all of our activities in South Texas. We have 3 of the only 11 licensed and constructed plants in the U.S., 3 of the 4 existing in Texas. Here again, all permitted. We have a very healthy pipeline of projects. We don't do exploration, we only do production. We take assets that within a year or 2, maybe 3 of production and move them forward. So exploration is not our thing, production is, cash flow. Here again, 100% in situ uranium, not conventional mining. It's cleaner, easier, quicker to get into production, quicker to get through reclamation, and those timelines are accentuated through the economics. Best team in the business in terms of in situ, experts from the board all the way down to the individual operations, and a blended uranium sales strategy that's about half contract and about half spot. Our non-core assets have generated about $30 million in sales to the company over the last 2 years, reducing shareholder dilution. It's an ongoing part of the business, and it will continue to offset expenses. You can see our market cap's just about 750 million US, just right at $1 billion Canadian. You can see there we've got 20 million in debt that is convertible into stock at US 291. We expect that to be converted within the next month or so. We also intend to close a joint venture with Boss Uranium from Australia in that same timeline. That will see the company gain $70 million. Here again with the debt conversion, that will go away. And in a 6-month period, we will have gone from 60 million in debt to 70 million on the books, no cash flow to cash flow. And and production. It's been a remarkable 6 months for the company, and it's just the beginning. This is our Rosita plant. This is the first one that that went into production in November. Been fully refurbished, mostly by our own employees. And as I say, a successful restart. It's cranking away as we speak. This is the larger facility, Alta Mesa. I'd mentioned the Rosita plant has an 800,000 pound a year production capacity. This has a 2 million pound back-end capacity, 1.5 million primary on the front end. And here again, this is the one that the Boss Energy transaction, it's a bit lengthy to go through, but I encourage you to look at the news release on all the details. It certainly helps propel us. They'll end up with a 30% interest. We'll still be managing the project. The map on the left shows most of the uranium-producing basins, or uranium-rich basins in the U.S. You'll see a concentration of assets in Wyoming and Texas. Here again, Mike had mentioned these are agreement states. We don't deal with the Nuclear Regulatory Commission. We're dealing with very pro-business, energy-intensive states that have assumed that jurisdiction from the federal government. On the right side, you see our goal, 3 million pound a year production rate within 3 years, such that in the 4th year we would actually be producing over 3 million pounds. All of this is based in Texas. And you can see the graph underneath showing our Rosita extension is already in production. Alta Mesa comes on early this year, and it's a multi-decade project. And then you see Upper Spring Creek, a couple of those, Brown and Brevard, Rosita South. Those are all satellite facilities that will basically extract the uranium, put it on resin, and then ship it to the central plant in a bit of a satellite type arrangement that will continue and keep that plant going for many years as well. Ultimately, in 2026 or thereabouts, we look to expand into Wyoming and South Dakota. Our South Dakota project overlaps the border, so we aren't sure where we'll build the plant there. But that'll get us up to 5 million pounds a year. And ultimately, we have a huge resource in New Mexico, the biggest wealth of uranium in the country, historical production and reserves. But there are some Aboriginal issues there that are going to take some time. It takes time to build trust and business relationships, but we're quite confident we can do so. This is our premiere. We'll be having a grand opening down here in early February. We've got former Energy Secretary Rick Perry showing up and speaking, as well as being a former Texas governor. So should be a lot of press. This is one of the remote ion exchange columns, set of columns. This is where we take the material from off-site from the plant, put the uranium on the resin, put it in as a slurry into the tanker truck you see, and then haul it to the central plant. At 5% weight percent uranium, this is a very high dollar commodity, and we can ship it hundreds of miles. You're looking now at the Alta Mesa plant. I would show, you might see the giant trunk lines of HDPE in the background going out to the well fields. This is a critical advantage to our Texas operations in that we have about a $5 to $8 a pound advantage over anywhere else in the country because we have warm weather. We don't have to bury our plumbing. This is a well field you can see we've been drilling. There's about 1 million pounds underneath that well field there. That one's at Alta Mesa, and that one will be coming on in line in April. But the satellite facilities are very quick and easy to build. We have enough equipment to build about 4 of them already in inventory. And these will continue to provide feed to the Rosita plant as we move forward. Alta Mesa is self-contained and will be operating within its own. This shows you the lay of the land in South Texas. Our Rosita facility there in the middle of the map, Kingsville Dome, our other 800,000 pound a year production facility, here again fully licensed, and the Keystone 200,000 acre Alta Mesa facility. This thing's got 50 some miles of roll fronts. It's been about 10% explored, and we already have 19 million pounds on it. So it's going to be going for, like I say, decades. This gives you a bit of the rundown on the resources. We will be drilling this and expanding those resources, but here again, production is our #1 goal, and we'll get into that very quickly here. Just in summary, we're focused extremely heavily on Texas. It's the most pro-business, energy-intensive state in the union. Fabulous government relations and support. And that's where we're going to build the foundation of 3 million pounds a year production. We're well on our way now. You'll see that ramp up considerably during 24. Even with the joint venture, we don't expect that to impact our 24 production because we'll be getting excess revenue. And our production is a function of how many drill rigs you keep going. Once you've got the plant facility, you fill it by drilling. Keep in mind, no underground excavation, no tailings. We basically are akin to oil and gas company because we do it all through drilling, fluids, and pumps. Then we move into our expansion at other places, the expertise, the cash flow, cleaning up the balance sheet. It's a pretty compelling story. I encourage you to go to our website and check us out. And if you have any questions, feel free to meet with me afterwards. Thank you.